doesn't apply to you. These are for single family.
Okay.
So I did read
All right.
this. Okay.
Good, good. Anybody else? Does anybody have a single family?
Yeah, I have a single family, but the problem is I'm still up underwater after the foreclosure that I've been in, and even though I did get a new mortgage, but I owe 110,000 on my house, and my house is only worth, as they told me now, $91,000.
Wow.
I would apply. I would
owe more.
apply. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You said you would have. Go ahead. Listen to this, Anthony.
Go ahead.
I don't. If that's the case, I still would apply because you never know that. Just I would check it out. If you got a single family home, I say check it out. Please check it out because that's what they've done to us. And probably you saying what you're saying is what they want people to do, so they won't do it.
So they won't do it.
I say apply and see what happens.
I agree.
And maybe you might be a great candidate because you are underwater.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, please apply, because when they send stuff out like this and we don't act on it, that's how we don't know about things. So I'm encouraging to apply because I was definitely going to apply.
Yeah,
I was reading it and reading this. Oh yeah, this is sounding good. And then it says at the end it's for single family homes only.
I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Let's go to any other comments? Any other comments about that opportunity? Okay. So then let me go back to topic was this story on the Michael Oder.
Okay, to get back to that, Wanda, about the procurement for the website, do you have to have a business or something like that?
I'm going to put that link and I put the link right here. It says the cha.org. Then you can go there and find out more information about that procurement opportunity. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know others might have interest about that. So yes, suggested I put it in.
Wanda, your next story.
Yes.
On point. I mean, that was one hellified movie.
Yes, I didn't even know about the movie until Sandra told me about it. I just read the story.
Well, I saw the movie.
You saw
Okay, let's update. Okay, let's update what we're talking about because I haven't seen what you're talking about.
Okay, here we go.
So what is the next story?
Anthony, mute your mic because you're on the bus.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, so here's the story, and here's what I read. And this gentleman is Michael Oder. I hope I'm saying his name right. Adoption controversy exposes how ableism and racism can work hand in hand to create a white savior narrative. And this brother is an NB. Let me see, where is he? He's an NFL. Yeah, NFL star. He alleged that this family that took him in high school exploited him under conservatorship. Had you ever heard of that?
No, you know what? There's a movie about, there was a movie about this guy, and it's called it was a movie about this guy, but I didn't realize the family exploited him.
Yeah, this is
I didn't either.
Okay, so a lot of people didn't.
Sandra Bullock. With Sandra Bullock, that movie with Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. This is what the gentleman says. He says under conservatorship, the family how you say the name?
Tucci, I think it was.
Tucci had control over his legal, education, and medical decisions.
Right.
The controversy exposes how ableism and racism can intersect to prop up a white survivor narrative, some race and disability experts say. So here you go. He goes on to say that this family, hold on, this probably reads it.
So he's saying about this family that
former NFL star Michael Oder.
Turn it down. What you say?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, that's all right. I was going to let the system read it, but go ahead, ask the question, because here's the story right here. It says that he on Monday, O'Hare filed court documents claiming that Sheen and Lee Jean, I can't say that name,
it's Sean and Leanne. Sean and Leanne.
Okay. Who took him into their home when he was in high school, never actually adopted him. He alleged they instead tricked him into signing documents that entered him into a conservatory ship. Once he turned 18 years old in 2004, using him as a gullible young man who could be exploited for their own benefit, the court filing says. So he's in court with this, and they ruled for him and for him to be settled, for them to do something. According to the court documents, this conservatory ship gave the family, I don't want to say the name wrong, total control over O'Hare's ability to negotiate for or enter any contract, including the deal that paid them and their children, but not O'Hare, millions of dollars in royalties from the critically acclaimed 2009 film, The Blind Side.
The Blind Side, that was the name of it. I saw that movie. And they portray it to be, this white family just went there and saw this person and just gave him the opportunity, and how he, became the family, never knowing the underlying reason that they were doing it. Oh my God.
He said white slaver narrative. This boy, man, I'm telling you, even in 2023.
And I guess he didn't realize this until he became much older. Now that he reading and what have you, because he could even read, as the story says. They even helped him to do that, to make sure that his grades were up to, because they really wanted him to be the star of the position that he played, because he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's saying that they still have a conservatorship over him.
Yes.
And that's why he's in court. Man.
That's why he's in court.
That's why
the court ruled for him, and the court ruled for him. Okay, you're right.
Do you mind if I kind of give you a brief briefly about what a conservatorship is?
Absolutely.
And what the difference is? If somebody would mute their mic, because that's really bad.
Okay, that's text. Okay,
yeah,
you got it.
Okay, here we go. A conservatorship, sometimes referred to as guardianship, is a legal arrangement that enables a court-appointed person to make financial, medical, or other decisions on behalf of another adult. It is typically implemented in situations when an adult is considered unable to make decisions for themselves, whether from a serious mental illness, a disability, or other debilitating condition. Okay, how are they different from adult adoption? I'm going to make it short. The rights of adults living on a conservatorship also vary depending on the situation. Some arrangements give conservators the power to make all life decisions, for a person. And you need to cut that out, because that's really bad to do that while I'm talking. That's very disrespectful. Okay, so, and that's totally different than adoption, and I'm trying to see that adult adoption, meanwhile, operates quite differently. A person over the age of 18 can legally adopt another person, adult, though the arrangement is usually symbolic. For instance, someone who was raised by a grandparent or a step-parent might want to honor that relationship by making that person their legal guardian. Unlike a conservative, an adult adoption does not involve adult giving up their rights, according to Tennessee-based law, Yates and Whelan. So that's the difference.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, you guys understand the difference. And I see, Karen, you have your hand up, so you had a comment.
Yeah, I mean, after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, um, that people just, I think it was Baba Jake Carruthers said, we thought freedom was free, but they, at that point, that's 1867. It's so many different ways to enslave people because the concept of business and ownership, is written in all of these very detailed, in these detailed documents. I'm really proud of the governor signing that no book banning. I mean, that was real important for us, that no book banning bill, because this is a time that we have to go into literal learning and send our children there. They have to know what the laws are, because those laws are designed to do exactly what this young man is talking about.
Okay, what I did, I looked up the definition of conservatorship. Okay, conservatorship results from the appointment of a guardian or protector by a judge to manage the personal or, okay, it went out. Doggone it. Oh, wow, it went away. How does it work? Let's see if this will work. Oh, none of my stuff is working, but and you know what? This is what Britney Spears, this is the same case for Britney Spears. Remember, she was telling you that she wanted her dad she wanted to now be in control of herself.
Yeah.
But he was a conservator, here it is. A conservator is a way for someone to assume legal guardianship over an adult. Families often use conservatorships to help deal with the mounting medical, financial, and mental health needs of a parent. The status of a conservatorship is dependent on the capacity of the individual to make decisions on their own. Conservatorships become a hot news topic as people discuss and debated the conservatorship Britney Spears lived under for more than a decade to figure out whether a conservatorship is necessary for your family situation. So that's what it really means. So, and when you become of age, when you have a lot of money, this person has control of everything that you do because you're mentally unstable or you're financially unstable.
But who said that he was
medically?
Who said this NFL player was mentally unstable?
They didn't. You guys are confusing the issue. Oh, okay. Everybody needs to slow down again. As it was stated earlier, the young man could not read.
Right.
They did this to protect him. They said they were doing this to protect him because he was an athlete. He was a sought-out athlete coming out of high school. Everybody needs to slow down. And they told him they did all of this stuff to protect him. His complaint is the fact that he is not receiving any of the money from the picture. His family that family has received in excess of $15 million for that picture, that movie, and he has not received a dime. And he says that he was not aware that the conservatorship was still intact. And he would not be aware because, again, the young man, even though he has a wife and 4 kids, that still doesn't mean that he can read and that he's literate at the level he should be. So this is something that the courts need to decide, and it will be, I hope and pray to God, properly addressed, and the man should receive money. And it should not have. I don't even know how even the people and the attorneys for the movie theater did not include him in receiving royalties for that movie. So I mean, it has nothing to do with him. It had to do with the fact that he could not read, not the fact that Britney Spears was a whole nother thing. They tried to do it to Whitney Houston, and they do it to any of the others that were out here that fall into some kind of either mental or physical, or maybe they already had some kind of literacy issue, and they want to protect them from situations, I guess, like this.
You know when we say we don't know why they didn't include him in the royalties, they do it all the time. They've always done it. When you think about our musicians and our artists way back in the 60s. They never got royalties for him. They had to fight. What was his name? They had to fight to get his royalties, and they do it. It's always done, and I'm so happy that whoever he has finally realized.
Jackie Wilson.
Mm.
Jackie Wilson.
Jackie
But that
Wilson,
wasn't
right.
that's not a conservatorship.
That also happened to Judy Garland. That happened to Doris Day. I mean, people who become products of the industry. They products to people. And so.
Yeah, but Doris Day was money. She gave a card to what's his name? The big star, the brother Sly. She gave Sly a card. She still had money. She gave
Not really. Sometimes things and money is a different thing, because she ended up broke and she didn't even know. Her man was running everything.
Yeah, all I want to say is this: with a conservatorship, no matter how old you are, it could have started when you was young. You can't never outgrow it. But when you're in an adopted situation, you adopt somebody, and at some point when they get of age, they grow out of that, and they're their own adult. But conservatorship, that's the problem. It can go on forever.
That's deep.
Somebody needs to change that law. That law needs to change.
Hey, Wanda.
Yes.
I never knew that was the situation, because when you watch the movie, it puts you in a state of hypnosis that the dude was adopted by this rich white family.
Yeah. I think Sandra said the movie said that. If they lied.
The movie.
Y'all gotta remember,
lied.
But you gotta remember, it's a movie. It's Hollywood. A lot of it is made up.
Right.
They want you to feel that euphoria where you will go and watch it. So again, it was a movie. But the real life thing of it is, like he said, if he didn't know, the conservatorships have been around, and they've been around for a lot of reasons too. They have protected some people from the wolves. And again, so it's something that is it's a state that you get. A judge puts you in that state, and a judge would have to take you out of that state. And see, that's the thing. But he should have had knowledge that he was still in that capacity. And when I was saying that, when I said the comment about the theater, I'm not talking about what happened with Jackie Wilson and all of those days. You have new attorneys now that try to protect the theaters, because you're protecting their brand from this kind of scandal. This is going to hit them hard, as well as it's going to hit that family hard. Because again, this makes them look really, really, really bad.
Yes.
And see, that's
the family got some, but he didn't get nothing.
But that's the thing why they hire these attorneys, and you hire the PR people. That's their job to say, hey, we may be doing this for X, Y, and Z, but what about AAA over here? Did we include that? Because we know that AAA is a party to this, and they have the right. They were aware that this was still in place, because you get to look that up. That he will have the right to come back, to do a comeback and sue us. Did you all look into that? So they were real sloppy in their jobs. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that, again, the greed gets in the way. And I'm not going to even say because of race, because I've seen white, Britney Spears' parents are straight up white. People that went on with Liza Minnelli, and the things that went on with Doris Day and others that you're talking about. These were white people doing this to white people. It's about the money. It's greed.
It's always
about the money.
Greed. It's unadulterated greed, and it's deplorable.
Yes.
And I hope he prevails, and I hope he gets his share.
I do too.
But in the case of
help a lot of people too. If this, because that was I saw the movie as well, and maybe I think it does come with greed, because it wasn't expected that he would be so magnificent at what he did, but that's just the way we are. And then money, and Now you have these rich people who are using affirmative action. That's why affirmative action is under the gun, because you got rich people who got nothing but money sending their children to school under affirmative action.
Well, you know what you got. That's what LGBT is all about, because LGBT ain't nothing about affirmative. That what it is that these white folks who are dominant and control everything, they have put themselves under an umbrella to designate themselves as a minority deserving of protected status. And so under the Title VII, who do you think that the laws, you go to the EEOC and all these kind of places, they completely dominate all of the litigation. What Black person do you know has a civil rights case involving discrimination and stuff? You know, we got to get class action. They don't have to do that. They can just individually.
That's not true. That's not true.
There's several Black people.
There's several Black people I know, and they just finished that. They just prevailed, and many of them just prevailed against Veterans Affairs, and they're going to either be getting their money back
there's going to be some. Yeah,
no.
I'm not going to debate and argue with you. I'm not trying to be opposed and try to be bigger. But my point, the point of the matter is that you have white folk floating this moniker called LGBT and getting Black people stupid enough to go along with it. You know, now what you want to do in your life, that's your damn business. But to sit up here and create this group, and so it can be designated as somebody being discriminated against, so a white man who runs everything can be a minority deserving of protected status under Title VII, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and all of that. That's a big problem for me.
I got you.
That's a big problem for me too.
Well, I think Black women should have a protected status, which would be womanist culture, because it is the Black woman who is constantly under the gun for every type of ism that there is. But we're still the mules of the world. We're still the major laborers and everything. So I feel like Illinois is a womanist culture. You know, it's being run by women. And so therefore we should be, especially the uncovered woman, should have a protected status of womanist culture.
You know, but when you look at National Organization of Women and all these organizations, what you find out is that behind the scenes, the actual funders of these things are actually a bunch of white men. That it has always been, who got that started, who really got that started was that woman who was living in the White House with FDR and then Eleanor Roosevelt. She was the head face of the beginning of the National Organization of Women. Okay.
All right, ladies.
It doesn't matter who does it.
It was an Asian person who filed that lawsuit in the Supreme Court, and it was the rich folks behind him. Did you hear?
Well, I have to go. I have to leave, Wanda. I really enjoyed the show because I'm going to watch one of the HBCUs, because everybody talking about what they do, what white people do with what, folks. How many of you are aware that the HBCUs are about to go live while you were talking all this black and whiteism? But it was a great show. Yep, it's a great show. Enjoyed you guys. Stay safe and talk to you, some of you, tomorrow.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had one more topic, but it is 3 minutes to 7. So I'd like to give each of you a 1-minute piece to tell folks what you want them to remember about this conversation. We can start with you, Anthony.
Well, I want folks to remember this conversation that I learned something new dealing with the blind side. That even though they use poetic license to tell a story, because this young man became knowledgeable, learned, because he could not read, which means he did not understand a whole lot of stuff.
That's right.
And now that he has seen the light, he has every right to file a lawsuit against that rich, racist family.
Yes, I agree. Karen, what's your comment?
the male brain does not develop. I read this, that it doesn't develop until they're 27 years old. And then if you put all this other stuff on top of the brain, no telling what, but it is, I agree, you know, the developmental process should be taken into consideration because that's what's overlooked with our children in public education. They're always accused of doing something before they even had an opportunity to do it. So therefore they go ahead on and get it done.
Well, I'm going to look at the good side of this. I'm going to flip it a little bit. Thank God they took him in to make him educated.
Yes.
So he can do exactly what he's doing now.
That's right.
That's the flip side. So that's what I would like to take from this. They educated him, and he now says, oh, and he's using his education.
That's right.
Evidently, he knows how to read, or he knows somebody that
that read
however you got to do it, that will know how to do it for him. Thank goodness.
Yes.
That's how I'm going to look at it. That's what I could take from it.
I agree with that. I agree. What about you, Brian?
I think this, you know, it goes to show how the vulnerable a lot of times get preyed upon, because like you said before, he needed parents, he couldn't read or write, and the only thing he had obviously was his physical skills and ability, similar to another former NFL great, in my opinion, Dexter Manley.
Okay.
And those who are the most vulnerable, they oftentimes get preyed upon and taken advantage of, and it's sad, and that needs to stop.
Yeah, it does. It does. Well, thank you for that insight. Al Kendall. Al, how are you?
I'm doing good, my Black leader.
What say you about that incident with that gentleman, the NFL player?
It seemed to be working itself out.
Yeah.
I think he has come into knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true that perhaps there was some advantages that went to the family, but nonetheless, that agreement, their relationship did create a crucible that helped him to get to adulthood.
All right. All right. That's another way to look at it. Yes, it did. And now he's there. He knows.
I mean, now, did I hear he played in the NFL?
Yes.
So if he played in the NFL, no doubt he likely then would have a pension.
Okay.
Okay. And of course, he's married, and who knows what his mental faculties is, and if he has, I guess that brain disease that comes from being in the NFL. So he's married, is what my understanding is, and so perhaps his wife is now making sure, going back through the history of life, helping to put together the pieces.
I hope so. I hope so. Yes.
Thing is not equal in life, and so I'm sure the family made mistakes, but it could have been worse.
You're right. Oh, it could have been worse. Yes. That's right. It could have been that he never came to the realization that he was in a conservatory.
Or he never got there. The conservatory could have just been another Black kid out here in the street. I mean, you got to take things in measure. You got to take some of the blessings that did come with you.
Yes. That makes sense. Thank you for that comment. We need to close with that. Margot, what say you? What's your final comment? Margot? Okay.
Oh, you don't mind if I can...
I was going to have you close us out. Go on, LeBron.
Well, Michael Orr, that's the young man's name. I understand he was like around 8 or 9 years, and he made like around $15 million. But see, the people, even after the movie was over for 8 or 9 years, movie don't go that long, they continue to make money off of the man's fame because he was a rich player. Because of that, somebody said Sandra Bullock was in that movie. Do you know that she adopted a Black child so she wouldn't use that movie and would adopt a Black child instead of getting with her brother having sex and making a baby? No, they just go grab them Black, steal somebody's baby out of Africa and play like they running things. And so she took advantage of that movie to do what she's doing. And and lastly, what I like to say about this, that we be respectful of each other, let a person speak and talk their mind and put our passions and energies towards talking about the subject matter and content that Wanda has given to us on this platform, as opposed to having intersquabbling. That's the great thing about today's show. Thank you.
Thank you. And everybody, thank you for joining. I appreciate all the input, and I look forward to seeing you all again on the Woman to Woman show tomorrow. Have a great evening. I'll send the invitations. Have a great evening.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.